Hey, what's up guys? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me on this short review on this baby right here. This is the Nitecore Energy Brick NB10000. That is a mouthful. So what they're calling an energy brick, we normally know them as a power bank. A power bank, for those of you who don't know, it's a portable charging device that charges your electronics, such as your cell phone, flashlight, camera, all that stuff. Now, when it comes to everyday carry items and everyday carry update videos, we tend to focus on the cooler stuff, the more macho stuff, multi-tools, your concealed carry, fixed blades, and so on. And I'm the same way. Majority of us, especially if you're watching this, majority of us are boys, so we grew up with action figures and all the cool stuff, right? So we tend to overlook things like this. However, these things are very important, especially in today's modern day and age, and they're extremely underrated. Now, is this particular power bank perfect? I can't say that it is. It does have a couple of drawbacks, at least for me, and I do have two other power banks that I own here, so we'll do some comparisons. So if you're interested, thank you for joining me. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the technicalities first. We'll talk about the specs. Now, before we begin, let me just say that I am filming solo, if you couldn't tell. Cuervo is out of commission for a little bit. He will be back next week. But in the meantime, guys, just please bear with me. I know I'm not a particularly talented cameraman, but it's a power bank, so it should be manageable, right? So let me just bring this down to my cutting board that's going to double as my desk. And once again, let's go ahead and get those specs out of the way. Alright, so let's begin. Now, first things first, I want to say a big thank you to Nitecore for sending this to me. They sent this to me about 3 months ago, and I have been using it every single day since. Really grown to like it. I mean, this thing is just so light and slim that I can just carry this easily in my haversack without it being too heavy or obtrusive. At the same time, now that it's starting to cool off, I could just slip this into the pocket of my jacket, and I rarely feel it. I mean, it's so light, but I always have the convenience of charging my electronics this way. So let's get the specs out of the way. First things first that you're going to notice is that it has a carbon fiber framing. Now, I don't particularly care too much personally on the aesthetics of a power bank, but this not only does it look cool, but it's going to add strength to the power bank. And I know some people who are just suckers for the carbon fiber look. They really like it. So, a little extra for you guys. Okay, so once again, specs. Let me try to be as symmetrical as I can right here. Now, the dimensions for this are 4.8 inches by 2.32 by 0.42. The weight is 5.29 ounces. And when you order this, it comes with the manual, which I can't find. I just had it yesterday. And of course, it's going to come with the charging cable. Now, the charging cable is a USB-C, in case that makes a difference to you. Oh, and then from here, just because I'm not a technical savvy guy, for those of you who are and like knowing all these little details, there you go. Okay, and now let's move on. Let's go ahead and start over here. So on this corner is where you're going to get where you charge it. Now you power it on by clicking it right here. Now it is broad daylight right now, so it's going to get a little difficult to see. I hope you can see right there, 3 dots, 3 bars. 3 bars means that it's full power. I did, of course, fully charge it before filming. Now, once it goes down to 2 bars, that means it's 70% or lower. Once it goes down to 1 bar, it's 30% or less. And then, of course, you charge it right here. This is where you install the charging cord for it. And then right here is where you normally have your, your output, so you can charge your cell phone, you can charge your flashlight, you can charge your smartwatch, your Bluetooth headphones, and so on. As the name implies, guys, this thing does have 10,000 milliamps. This can charge my iPhone 11 3 times. And that's pretty good. I mean, this thing charges pretty quickly in about an hour. this thing is ready to go, and it can charge, once again, my phone, which not only do I use this for, you know, not only for everyday things, social media and directions and so on and so forth, communication, but at the same time, I use it for filming, which is essentially my job. So it helps me with that. And I just really love how thin this is. This thing is actually thinner than my actual phone. Now, because I'm filming with the phone right now, I can't compare, but I will add a little B-roll image right here so you can see that, because Christ, this thing is just so thin, and I really enjoy that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some comparison with two of my other power banks. Now, it's very difficult to like put a power bank to the test on a video because it's not a knife, you know, it's something that does take time and it's hard to convey outside of communication. So these are my two other power banks. I've had this before this one. I've had these for years now. I know I've had this one for about 2 years. I've had this one for about 3 years. And technology advances so quickly. Now, not only is this one, I've never even heard of this brand, Blackweb. This was actually given to me as a buddy. He found it like at a restaurant, and he asked if I wanted it. So, sure, I took it. Now, I'm sure it was already kind of old by the time I even got it. So this thing really is just outdated, and it was probably cheap to begin with. This thing takes hours to charge fully, and it really only charges my phone about up to 80% before it dies. So this thing's like my just emergency of emergencies, and that's about it. Now this one is my OutXE. Once again, it's also like this one, a 10,000 milliamp. Now this thing's a tank, and I really enjoy this one for the outdoors, especially if I'm going to be out for an extended period of time, whether I'm camping for 3-4 days or you know, add this to my bug out bag for emergencies. Not only is this thing extremely tough, as you can tell, I mean the rubber closings, you can close this up. This is where you have the ports, and you can close it up so it makes it waterproof. You can click this several times. Once again, we're in broad daylight, so it's difficult to showcase. But see that? You can use this, double this as a light. You know, not the strongest of lights, but, you know, something to illuminate the dinner table, the picnic table while you're camping or something like that. So this one does have its strengths. I'm not going to say that it doesn't. But it is, you know, for being 10,000, look how thicker this is compared to this one. And once again, I'm holding the phone with one hand, so it can be a little tricky here. But check this out. Like I said, this one does have its strengths. It's much stronger, much more heavy duty. It also is solar powered here. I mean, it charges very slow this way. You know, don't expect to put this out in the sun and have full battery in a day. That's not the way it works. But I liked it. Once again, for emergencies, for a bug out scenario, something like this, this is the one that I would prefer. But when it comes to everyday carry, I live in the city, guys. So, you know, I don't really got to worry about, you know, my power bank falling in a river or in mud or, you know, anything like that. So this one is fine. Now, this one is said to be strong as well. I've seen some people dunk this in water on other YouTube videos. I'm not going to do that. But, I mean, I'm sure it has its strengths. But at the same time, because this portion is exposed, it will have weakness to sand, which it's all over the place. Dirt, grime, you know, all that stuff. So this one is much better suited for city errands. Like I said, carrying this in my haversack, carrying this in my vehicle, and look how light it is. I mean, I can easily just slip this in the pocket of my jean jacket, and it's really not obtrusive. And that's what I like about this. I mean, this, once again, this is something more modernized for the city, for everyday carry, while this one's going to be something for, you know, I'm going to be out camping for a week or two. And which of course I probably would take too. Keep this in my pack or in my tent, and then keep this on my haversack or on my coat. All right, folks, so final thoughts. It is getting hot out here. So it started off as a chilly morning, and now it's getting pretty hot. So I'm gonna make this quick. So final thoughts on the Nitecore Energy Brick. I really like it. I really do. And it's crazy because I'm not really excited about technology, little electronic gadgets, but this has really proven to be invaluable. I mean, once again, my favorite thing of it all is just how lightweight and how thin it is. I mean, once again, I could easily just put this in my pocket and forget all about it, or carry it in my haversack, and it's really not obtrusive. It's not heavy, it's not bulky or anything like that. Now this AUDXC I really do like, even to this day. I mean, I've had it for 2 years, I really enjoy it, but let's do some comparison between these two once again. These two are 10,000 milliamp. Compare the size and weight. Which one would you rather carry with you every day on your haversack or in your backpack? Like I said, this one has its uses, especially when outdoors, but when it comes to just the everyday hustle and bustle, going to work and, you know, all that stuff, this was just going to be a lot more easier to carry in your haversack, a lot less obtrusive, so I really like that. Now, what do I not like about this battery bank? First things first is the price. I can't think off the top of my head right now, but I want to say it's about $60. $60 is pretty expensive for a battery bank. Me being, you know, someone who's not really into technology that much, I would be hesitant to, you know, pull the trigger on buying something like that. Your mileage may vary, but for me personally, yeah, I would be hesitant. But once again, keep in mind that this just came out a few months ago. So later on, a year from now, it'll be cheaper, and like I said, I've really come to enjoy it. Second thing, it's getting hot out here. Second thing that makes me paranoid, I wouldn't say that I've ever had an issue with it, but I would feel a lot more comfortable if there was some kind of covering here. You know, all these ports that are exposed, there's sand everywhere where I live. In a few weeks, we're going to be camping in snow, you know, so on and so forth. So I get pretty uncomfortable just having this exposed. That's one thing that I do like about the AUDXC, that right there, this covering. And I feel just more secure, you know, what if I drop this in a stream or in mud or something like that. But other than that, I really like it, guys. I really do like it. It is a welcome addition to my, you know, everyday carry setup. You know, unless you're living like Jeremiah Johnson off in the mountains in the cabin somewhere, which is the dream for all of us, but let's be realistic here. You know, our phones, our electronics are extremely important. You know, we use our cell phone for entertainment. We use it to communicate with our loved ones or for business, you know, emails, texts, all that stuff, checking weather, GPS, you know, all these apps. And in the year 2020, when there's a new crisis every week, it's good to stay informed. And God forbid something bad happens, you know, whatever the case may be, you're going to want to have a little bit of backup to keep your energy going for your phone. Not only for your phone, but things like your flashlight. Say there's a blackout, you know, a winter snowstorm coming up, you know, this is going to make a difference. Having stuff like this laying around, this can make a difference. So you can keep your phone going, you know, stay in touch with loved ones, updates with, you know, all that stuff. Okay, folks, so that's about it for me. I don't want to make this video too overly long. It's just a power bank, so there's not a lot I could do in terms of testing out here, you know, all that stuff. But once again, just a short summary. I really like how thin it is, how light it is, how fast it charges, and how much power it has to light my electronics, whether I'm out camping or just everyday stuff. It is a little pricey, but once again, it is really good. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions, any comments, anything like that. And I will have the link down below as well for my Amazon store. So in case you do want to purchase this, not only are you getting an awesome battery bank, but at the same time it throws a few cents so we can keep getting out here and filming and doing all our stuff. So that's about it for me. We'll have a new video coming up pretty soon. So thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.